Alright, hey guys, it's Cardo. I have the first ever industrial grade electric generator. I have one right here, the EcoFlow Delta Pro. I'm going to be showing you guys how I've been using this generator here in my detail shop or if I have to do a mobile job. Now this is not going to be a product review because I don't have a long-term report for this device. However, this is going to be mostly like an first impressions type of video, which, spoiler, gave really good impressions. In this video, I'm going to be talking about its features, device compatibility, runtime, as well as how to recharge it. Satisfying visuals paired with some narrative commentary. So let's get started. The EcoFlow Delta Pro, a fine piece of machinery that I did not expect to see in this decade, but glad that technology has finally caught on that we can now power things with all electric machines, with user-friendly plugins, and no need for an electrician. For us detailers working as a business, there are a lot of factors on how to properly take full advantage of a piece of equipment like this. Grab everything you know about gas-powered generators and throw it out the window because this is not a generator. I repeat, this is not a generator, but a very large industrial-grade battery that can mimic the power of a gas generator. There is an overwhelming amount of information to unpack here, so I will only cover the unique features that I found interesting and go deep down the rabbit hole in another video. Like I said, this is not a product review, but more of a first impressions. I will try my best to thoroughly explain everything and its features for you guys to understand, so grab a couple of snacks, kick back, and enjoy the video. Before we see what it can power, let's check out the ports and features available. On the front of the machine, we have a yellow power button in the center and a screen on top that lists the battery percentage, power draw, charge speed, and runtime with other small icons indicating its status. There are 4 USB power ports, 2 regular and 2 fast charging in blue so you can charge supported devices quicker. A set of USB-C ports are below that, being able to deliver a whopping 100 watts of power. This is ideal if you are charging laptops or similar devices with that connection. On the bottom we have an AC on and off switch to toggle the electrical ports. There are 4 ports of 20 amp standard AC outlets and a single 30 amp RV port. Impressive to see a lot of ports here available with high power delivery features. On the right side we have 2 covers containing a variety of power connections. In red and black there is an Anderson port at 12 volts and 30 amps, a standard cigarette lighter at 12 volts 10 amps, a pair of 5521 ports at 12 volts 3 amps with a toggle on-off switch, a pairing, reset, and standby buttons, and switch to communicate with the machine wirelessly, and finally an internet port, which is not for the internet but to use an external display from EcoFlow to control the machine, to which I unfortunately don't have. Just below that is EcoFlow's proprietary port called Infinity AC, where you can connect another Delta Pro and other unique things here. I will elaborate on that in a minute. On both sides there are the grills with 2 circular cutouts for the fans where the air can pass through when the machine is being operated. On the back of the machine there are 3 covers, all used for charging or battery expansion. On the top cover we have a solar or car charging input that has a wide range of charging speeds, a switch to choose max or custom charging speeds using the app, a standard C13 power port to charge via a wall outlet, and an overload protection button so the machine protects itself in the case of an excessive power draw. Nice to see features like this that adds a peace of mind for those who are not sure what they are connecting. And just below that are 2 proprietary extra battery ports if you want to hook up EcoFlow's extra batteries to expand the power capacity. Neat feature if you want to upgrade later down the line. The physical dimensions and weight will be displayed on screen for your convenience. Compared to gas generators, this is so much more compact and weighs far less than its power equivalent competitors. On the exterior, there are 2 handles that come with a rubber strap for extra grip and wheels on one end so you can maneuver around with rubber feet on the other hand to hold it in place, to which I will demonstrate in a minute. According to EcoFlow's website, this machine is 99 pounds with nothing attached, and I can confidently lift this. The weight distribution is balanced and has a satisfying feel to it, like I'm holding a tough tank that can withstand anything. Putting it inside my van and now was not a challenge and a relief to see, considering I used to own a 300-pound gas generator to which I may or may not have injured myself. The Delta Pro has a premium feel indeed, and many can lift this. Now, most gas generators weighing over 200 pounds don't include anything to move around. Thankfully, EcoFlow added a lift bar integrated with the Delta Pro to make moving this machine around an effortless process. You just push the gray button to pop out the handle, and hold down the button to slide out the extendable and adjustable bar to your preferred length.
Now, when I think about gas generators being used in households, I always think about ergonomics and how the ease of use experience is for the user. With this feature, I am confident a lot of people will be able to move this around even if they don't have the strength to lift 100 pounds of metal. So confident that even my own mother won't have any issues pulling this around the house compared to a 200-pound gas machine with no wheels or comfortable position to lift on the handles. So me and my back, thank you EcoFlow for addressing the one thing many machines always seem to struggle on. Now the Delta Pro is a powerhouse, being able to power a lot of machines effortlessly, so I will display the specs on screen for your convenience. It's got a beefy 3.6 kilowatt hour battery and can expand to 25 kilowatt hours with other EcoFlow extra battery packs. It can power anything within 3600 to 7200 watts of power draw. It can charge up to a blazing fast speed of 6500 watts with multi-charging for some insanely short charging times. The batteries are made of a durable, long-lasting lithium iron phosphate, which, by the way, is the same type of batteries used in electric vehicles. Not to mention, the batteries have a cycle rating of 6500 cycles before it even reaches 50% battery health. That is a really long time. Trying to drain the battery to 0% and charging it to full 6500 times? If you went from 100% to 0% and charged it once every day, it will take you almost 17 years to barely reach 50% battery health. 17 years! Impressive engineering, I must say. For more information on charge times, accessories, and other quirks, please refer to EcoFlow's website under the Delta Pro page. I did talk about the battery quite a lot, but did you know there is an app for you to control the Delta Pro and other EcoFlow products? This can help you monitor and customize the performance of your machine within the app. Upon launching the application, you are greeted with the main page listing all of your connected devices. I only have a Delta Pro, so if you have any other EcoFlow products, they will also appear here. I named my machine Overdose Machine because why not, and it displays the battery percentage at a glance. Tapping on your connected device, it will show you the status of your machine. Up top, you will see the battery percentage, temperature, and battery duration when idle. Below that, you will see the two separate tabs for input and output. First stat you will see is a toggle on-off switch to activate or deactivate the AC ports on the front of the machine. Right below that is a toggle on-off switch to control the DC ports on the side of your machine. And finally, a view of all the USB ports with their statuses and power draw. Switching over to the input tab, you're greeted with a different layout for stats. The first stat is a solar with watt indicator, so you can see how much power you're getting when using your solar panels. And just below that are 4 icons, one for the infinity port, which I will talk about later, an AC icon when charging off an AC outlet, and 2 icons showing the battery percentage of other EcoFlow extra battery packs when they are purchased separately. Now that you've seen the app, we can then focus on the part that everyone is interested in. What can it power and how I use it in my detailing routine. I will show you a variety of detailing equipment being powered by my Delta Pro, and worry not, I will show how many watts it draws and how long it can run in a minute. Not everyone will have the same exact equipment as I do, but hopefully the selected machines can give you an idea if you have something similar. If you're detailing as a business and interested in this machine, just make sure to watch the video first and ask questions afterwards. Up first is my Krenzel 1322 TS pressure washer dialed at 1100 psi. I will be giving my van a simple touchless wash, so rinse, foam with car shampoo, and rinse again without touching the vehicle. Pulling the trigger, it honestly feels exactly the same as if I were to plug it into a gas generator or an AC outlet off the wall. I had moments where I plugged in the machine on a 15 amp circuit and the Krenzel just couldn't operate properly. I was scared when I first turned on the machine since I had no source confirming that it was going to work with a Delta Pro, but after giving it a go, I was relieved that it didn't blow up. Now I use my Delta Pro to power my detailing equipment because during the daytime, the only outlet that I have available in my garage is occupied by other household devices using the same circuit. So if I try plugging in my Krenzel at high peak hours for electricity, very likely the pressure washer won't turn on because of the breaker protection it has. So with the Delta Pro, I can now detail vehicles without having to worry about overloading my home's circuit and seeing a high electricity bill that very likely my mother would kill me for. I am considering mobile detailing for my business, but I'll have to do testing of the Delta Pro with other strategies and charging methods to see which routine is more efficient. So until then, you will just have to wait until I release a full review video. Next up is the vacuum. The driver and passenger area are messy from a Halloween party, and worry not, I will address the common grit with a swift vacuum on all of the surfaces. Using the Delta Pro feels odd powering my vacuum without unloading the extension cord, and it is even more weird that there is no noise or fumes coming from the battery. I know this is a really simple use case, but it's the little things that make my detailing experience ever more enjoyable. Now I could show you the other equipment that I have, but I actually made 2 whole detailing videos only using the Delta Pro as my power source for my equipment, but I never showed it to you guys directly. Those were my testing days, and I did drop little teasers during and at the end of the video. I will link my videos below if you want to check them out. Now I showed you how I use it for detailing, but what about inside your own household? After all, this is an industrial grade battery that can power a Krenzel pressure washer. So I bring my Delta Pro around the house and try powering random things. I go to my kitchen and plug in my coffee maker and toaster. These 2 machines draw a lot of power from the wall because they create heat for its application. So I connect and turn on both, and it worked perfectly fine. Now I had a low battery charge because of all the testing I did for this video, and worry not, I'll show you how to charge this thing in a minute. As you can see, the toaster and coffee maker combined pulled about 2800 watts of power, and surprisingly the Delta Pro had no problems running them. I could use this in the kitchen in the event of a power outage, or perhaps a road trip if I want to go cooking on the go. I don't know, but it's cool to see this run perfectly fine with no stutters or power draw fluctuations. Next up was my living room TV area. On one power bar, there are several devices connected to it, like a cable box, Nvidia Shield, DVD player, and of course the TV. So I unplugged it from the wall and connected it to the Delta Pro. While not as taxing compared to previous devices, still nice to see that this works in case you need to use this to check for important news during an emergency broadcast, or desperation to see a soccer game during a power outage. Next up, I power both my washing machine and dryer. Grabbing a couple of rags to wash and tossing some formal clothing into the dryer, I disconnect both of them from the wall and plug them into the Delta Pro. I set my washer for a deep wash and my dryer at medium-high heat. And of course the Delta Pro had no problem running these, so you can have that peace of mind when you need that clean clothing for when there is no power, or if you have those mobile laundry machines. Finally, I power my entire desk full of lighting and desk accessories. There is a power bar that everything is connected to, so I unplugged it from the wall and connected it to the battery. After flipping the switch and turning on my computer, voila! Everything worked perfectly fine. The lights, the fans, the keyboard, my clock, and not to mention my high refresh rate gaming monitor. I'll post my stats on stream for all my tech nerds out there. This is really impressive to see that such technology is now readily available for consumers so early in the decade. I can't wait to add more accessories to the Delta Pro later down the line so I can have a full off-grid house relying only on solar for clean energy and for sure a lower electric bill.
Alright, now the biggest question everyone's going to ask me is, how long does the generator last? And unfortunately, there is no answer for everyone because it just depends on what you're plugging in and how long you are running it. For example, if you plug in only, let's say, a pressure washer and a vacuum, your answer will be completely different from someone who uses heated equipment like hot pressure washers, heated extractors, and even steamers. So there is no answer for everyone, but it can be calculated. You just have to find the number of watts that the machine's going to draw. And after you have found the total power draw in watts, there is a way to calculate how long it will run with the generator. So let me show you.
To find how long certain machines can operate, we will need to understand the terminology for electricity, to which I will explain on screen for your convenience. 1 kilowatt hour is 1,000 watts drawn in 1 hour. The Delta Pro has a rating of 3.6 kilowatt hours, or can provide 3,600 watts of power for 1 hour. All machines and devices should have an imprint or sticker stating the total power draw in watts. So just divide 3,600 by the machine's total power draw in watts, and that will be your estimated runtime in hours. The Delta Pro will automatically tell you how much time you have left when providing power, but having this simple calculation in mind is useful if you want to buy a product but you're not too sure how long it will last. In a detailing work environment, there are a variety of machines that we can connect, so in this example, I will plug in some devices that you guys are familiar with. I will show how many watts the device is drawing and how long it will run for your your convenience. Up first, we have the VacMaster Beast vacuum from earlier. Hooking up the power cord to the Delta Pro and powering it on, we have roughly about 1,350 watts of power draw, which will give us about 2.6 hours of continuous runtime on a fully charged battery. Please note that if you cover the vacuum hose, the wattage will drop significantly, so keep this in mind when vacuuming carpets in those tight grooves. Next up is the iconic Bissell Spot Clean Pro extractor. Powering it on, we can see that it pulls approximately 730 watts, and just like the vacuum, it draws less power when the suction tube is blocked, so keep that in mind. I pulled the trigger to see if there were any changes in power draw when spraying the water, and there was no difference surprisingly. So with a fully charged battery, you can expect a lengthy 4.9 hours of continuous runtime. Very impressive indeed. Next is the McCulloch steamer. Now when I turn on the machine with a cold start, you can see that it only pulled about 1400 watts and it's not even primed, it's only warming the water up. So I gave it a couple of minutes to prime, and after some wait I pulled the trigger and there was no difference in power draw. So with this information, the steamer will constantly draw about 1400 watts of power, and with a fully charged Delta Pro should give you about 2.5 hours of continuous runtime. Next is my Greenworks pressure washer rated at 1500 psi and 1.2 GPM. The hose length and gun have no effect on power draw, so we can factor those out of the equation. Turning on the machine, it did spike about 2100 watts as an initial startup, but after pulling the trigger, it remained at a stable 1300 watts on average. Then I connected a foam cannon and the machine only pulled a couple of watts less. Without a nozzle attached, it only pulled about 750 watts. I don't think you will ever wash a whole car like this, but it's nice to know this if you're gonna fill your buckets via the pressure washer gun while the machine is on. So with a fully charged Delta Pro, the Greenworks machine provides about 2.8 hours of continuous runtime. Next is the beefy and sometimes hard to run machine in most households, the Krenzel 1322 TS. This machine is well known for tripping many circuits both at home and at gas generators because of its high power requirements. So let's see the numbers when plugged into a Delta Pro. Powering it on, you can see it only draws about 1500 watts when the machine is dialed to 1100 psi. Connecting a foam cannon, it drew almost the same amount of power with no stuttering or fluctuations in power or flow. This is really impressive because gas-powered pressure washers are unbearably loud, require fuel, and release fumes in the air. But now that we can have electric options for both power and machine, makes for a more quieter and easier experience for at-home hobbyists and mobile detailers alike. So with a fully charged Delta Pro, you can expect 2.4 hours of continuous runtime with the Krenzel 1322 TS. Now I wanted to do something silly, and this was mostly just an experiment instead of looking for practicality. I wanted to see what would happen if I plugged in the two pressure washers at the same time. Now I used an extension cord on the Greenworks machine because the AC outlets were just too close together and the power plugs are large and they wouldn't be connected side by side. This didn't affect power delivery, so no need to factor the cable in. I placed the GoPro in front of the Delta Pro so we could see the total watts being pulled. Then with a leap of faith, I pulled the trigger and, well, surprisingly it ran perfectly fine with only about 2700 watts of power being drawn. There were no weird noises from the machines, no loss in power or output. Everything ran as if it were a regular wall outlet. Now, I then bump it up using a foam cannon on both machines, and while two stubby nozzles would have been great to avoid awkwardly wielding the long lens, I squeezed the trigger, and my goodness did I overfoam the whole area in a short amount of time. This feels so embarrassingly fun to do, just some guy trying to flood his whole van with foam thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. And of course, rinsing the van afterwards was equally as fun, with a total of 3 gallons per minute being distributed on both guns. I don't think I had ever rinsed a car so quickly that it made me have second thoughts if I should swallow my pride and buy another Krenzel machine. Well, jokes aside, this just shows how capable the Delta Pro is with power output and large loads that can tax many gas-powered generators.
Alright, so I'm recording this, but I don't have a skip for this. I'm just going to be recording it. Everything that I just tested just now, I am at a loss of words on how to describe how mind blown I am to run two completely different pressure washers at the same time using a generator that isn't even gas. I should turn that off. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's crazy. It's not a gas generator. It's a battery. It's just a giant battery, and it ran two pressure washers at the same time. That's over 2,000 watts for sure. That's just mind blowing. I am honestly, I'm overwhelmed. I am extremely overwhelmed how well this worked. Now, why would you run two pressure washers at the same time? And it may sound silly at first, but if you think about it, if you're a mobile car washing, mobile detailing, and time is money, you could technically have another detailer or a washer operate a different machine at the same time. So you have two separate workers washing two different cars at the same time. I know it sounds silly using two pressure washers at the same time, but think about it from a business perspective. That's actually really good to run two machines at the same time so you can get the work done a whole lot faster. That's crazy. That is really crazy. And not to mention, you can stack on top of the generator. You don't have to just get the generator. You can get the extension batteries. You can get two Delta Pros and run even much longer than that. The possibilities are endless on what you can do with these two machines. I'm at a loss of words, to be very honest with you. I did not prepare a skit for this right here. I'm saying it clean. This is the future of detailing right here. This is the future. I am just so excited. Can't wait to record the rest.
On to the next subject, charging methods. There are a variety of ways you can recharge the Delta Pro with third-party accessories or using EcoFlow's products. In this demo, all accessories shown are straight from EcoFlow since I purchased them from a bundle during a sale. So if you want to purchase any third-party products, make sure to do some thorough research to ensure that it functions properly. The first charging method is using the AC outlet power cable that comes with all Delta Pros. It is a standard C13 power cable, and this cable in particular is much thicker than others. EcoFlow's included power cable was designed to handle fast charging speeds, so a durable cable is needed to do so. Connecting it to an outlet, it began charging with a charging indicator, charge speed, and estimated time until max capacity. If you have an outlet that cannot handle large loads and could trip the circuit, you do have the option to lower the power draw by going to the back of the machine and flipping the charge speed switch to slow or custom. From here you can adjust how much power the Delta Pro will draw via the app. Next method is using solar panels. I got one from EcoFlow rated at a max of 400 watts, which comes in this premium carrying case to protect the panels in storage. It is a foldable 4-sided solar panel that is surprisingly durable and waterproof with an IPA68 rating in case you leave these out in the rain. All EcoFlow panels use standard solar connectors, so you have the option to easily hook up more panels from a third-party source. Included is an XT60 male port and positive and negative solar ends. From here it's just Legos. Connect the panels to the Delta Pro on the back. After trying to get some proper lighting during this cloudy day, you can see the charging speed, expected time until fully charged, and solar icon. And of course, you can see the total power being obtained via the app, which is handy if you want to see the status of your Delta Pro at a glance. Another way of charging is the included XT60 to male cigarette lighter. Now, without a doubt, this will be the slowest way to charge your battery, but still nice to see this included in case you are driving out on a long road trip and just need a quick charge if you don't have any solar panels or other means of charging. So I hook it up to my van's cigarette lighter port underneath the center console, and it was charging with about 50 watts of power, and I have to admit this is unbearably slow, but better than nothing if you're out on the road with no means of charging. The final and I think best method is charging at an EV charging station. Yes, you heard that right. You can charge at an EV station for some insanely fast charging speeds, and for the first battery of its kind to utilize such a method. So I took a trip to my local grocery store that had an EV charging station in the parking lot, which felt weird at first because not only was this my first time recording in public, but I had a gas car and everyone was giving me that funny stare. But I ignored them, as usual. To charge at these EV stations, you will need EcoFlow's proprietary EV Extreme adapter so you can connect it to any J1772 plugins. So once you arrive at your charging station, you just plug in the adapter until you hear a click. Make sure that it is locked in and not loose, and from there you just plug it into the battery's infinity port. Once connected, the power input will keep increasing as the charging station adjusts automatically. You can see it is charging at blazing fast speeds that far surpasses a lot of other batteries in the market, even with solar and AC power combined. And of course you can monitor the power input via the app. One thing that I discovered while I was recording is that when you are plugged in at an EV charging station, you cannot use the AC outlets during that session, which is nice to know to prevent a potential hazard from happening.
Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes at 20%. It already went all the way to 72%. That is crazy. That's what was it? 50%. 50% from just 30 minutes. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, if you are going to be mobile detailing and you use like a, I don't know, a Krenzel machine, 50% is more than enough to do at least like, I don't know, 2 or 3 cars, maybe 2 or 3 Honda Civics if you're quick enough and efficient. But obviously you're going to have to test it out with your equipment and all that stuff, see how long you're going to actually use it with everything else that you're going to use. That is crazy. Just 30 minutes. Charge 50%. That is mind-blowing. Now, if you are in a, well, I am at a shopping center right here, so if you want to, you could just leave it here, leave the window down just a bit, run the cable over here, and then, I don't know, grab a quick bite, do some shopping, grab some water or something, or fill up on gas at least. So the possibilities are endless on what you can do when you are charging at these EV stations, and there's plenty around here. Now, I am charging at the one in Volta. It is free for me, so that's a huge plus for me. Yeah, that is crazy. 30 minutes is 50%. 50%. Wow. Let's get on with the video now.
That is just crazy to think that technology had advanced so much recently that we can finally use EV charging stations to charge our industrial grade batteries. Like I said, if you're a mobile detailer, you can go to a station that can supply you with high power input. I think an hour of waiting is doable because you can use this time to check up on your social medias, answer some customer calls, plan appointments, organize your setup, grab a bite, and other things while you wait. The possibilities are endless, and that is not including the creativity detailers will come up with as they use the outlet ports, solar charging, and the cigarette lighter. We will just have to wait and see what other routines people will come up with once this technology is standardized for everyone. And there you guys go, the EcoFlow Delta Pro initial impressions video. This is not a review, nor was I paid by EcoFlow to make this video. I went out of my way to purchase this and the accessories with my own money. I know a lot of people are going to have a long list of questions regarding price, how long it lasts with this and that, how fast it can charge with something else, and a lot of other topics that I, financially, cannot test everything out for you. You will just have to check it out for yourself or use that watts calculation method that I mentioned. I still need to do a lot of testing off camera and see what this thing can provide, and who knows, maybe I will start doing mobile detailing again, now that I don't have to worry about the fumes or noise in a quiet neighborhood. I have big plans for this machine, and I hope you guys are ready for when I drop a review video on the Delta Pro and how I can do a mobile job with this battery.
So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Yeah, like I said, this is not a detailed product review. I still have to do further testing on that, so think of it more as like a first impressions kind of video. There's still a lot of testing that I need to do, but this left really good impressions. I'm just mind blown how far we've come in technology. Like, we finally have batteries now that are capable of running industrial grade equipment. That's crazy. I can't wait to see what creative use cases people are going to use with this battery pack right here. That's just crazy. Now, I do understand this will probably benefit mostly mobile detailers, but it's still nice that you have the convenience of using this indoors in your own household. For, I don't know, maybe there's a power outage or hopefully not an emergency situation that you need something powered on. It's still nice that you can use this indoors without any fumes, any gas, and honestly, it's quiet too. The only thing you're gonna hear are just the fans. So yeah, that's really impressive. And you guys are gonna have to wait for the full detailed product review of this machine for a long-term use of this machine. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to wait out on that. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below for more future content like this down the road, and make sure to hit that bell icon so that way you're notified with every video that I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good time.